Hey guys, good morning. It is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. Great to be with you on Sunday, March 2nd, 2025. Thank you so much for tuning in here to Inspirations for Your Life. Thank you so much. We have a great master topic for the week, which we started yesterday, which is building strong, authentic relationships. We're on series 4, by the way. And the granular topic for today, in case you're wondering, is the power of consistency in personal growth, series 4. Yes, we are on show number 10, and that is episode number 2. So, welcome everyone. Welcome. Thanks so much for being here with me. Do check out believemeachieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations. I am your host, John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, and I'm not only a host, but I'm also a podcast coach. So, do reach out to me and check out all the great content that I offer. Welcome to another enlightening episode of Inspirations for Your Life podcast. If you've just woken up, or it's the middle of the day or the evening, and you haven't gotten something, well, I don't want you to be famished. So please run to the kitchen and get something so you're not, or parched. Maybe some water, maybe some tea, maybe some hot chocolate, or soda if you prefer that. Whatever it is, healthy, sweet, tart, or not, get it and come on back and enjoy the show with me. So while we dive deep into the wisdom that fuels growth, success, and fulfillment, today, I'm exploring a timeless principle that can change your life: the power of consistency in personal growth. Whether you're striving to improve your career, strengthen your faith, or become the best version of yourself, one truth remains: small, steady actions create lasting impact. And what matters most is the better source of wisdom to guide us than the Book of Sirach. You guys know I'm Roman Catholic, but still, if you're not, you could still learn some great valuable lessons from the Book of Sirach. These ancient yet relevant insights will help you develop persistence, avoid stagnation, and surround yourself with the right influences. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to unlock this incredible, I mean incredible journey. And I'm very grateful that I was able to learn about this because I've been a reader at church for a long time, and I get a lot of my wisdom for the shows from the Bible. These ancient yet relevant insights will help you develop persistence, avoid stagnation, and, as I said, surround yourself with the right influences. So get ready to unlock that powerful strategy with me right now. As I said, just as a repeat, make sure you guys were paying attention, stay committed, push the challenges, and build a life filled with purpose. Let's dive in. All right. So first thing is, wisdom isn't something we stumble upon by chance. It's cultivated through consistent learning and reflection. Sirach 6:37 reminds us, and I quote, "Let your mind be on the ordinances of the Lord and meditate continually on his commandments. He will give you insight and wisdom as your heart desires." This verse highlights the importance of daily reflection and discipline in personal growth. Just like a muscle strengthens through repeated exercise, our mind sharpened through regular engagement with truth. Knowledge and self improvement, whether it's reading scripture, studying new skills, or practicing mindfulness, steady efforts transform us with the information into wisdom. So ask yourself this question: are you feeling your mind daily with the right types of things? So are you feeding it, is really what I want to say. Or are you letting distractions take over your mind? Like, the monkey chatter, right? Stay committed to your growth journey and watch wisdom unfold. All right. Number 2, diligence brings success daily. Hard work pays off, but only when it's consistent. Sirach 20:32 states, and I quote, "Necessary patience in seeking the Lord is better than he who leads his life without a guide." Close quote. In today's fast-paced world, we often seek instant results, but true success comes from patience, diligence, and long-term effort. We often call this short-term gratification, long-term gratification. Long-term gratification might seem a little more uncomfortable, but guess what? The results are a lot more lasting and a lot more enjoyable. All right. So I think that's important to understand, really important. So whether you're building a career, a relationship, or a dream, it takes daily dedication and trust. Okay, that's important, ladies and gentlemen. It takes that dedication and trust in the process. And think of a farmer. He plants seeds, right? Waters them, and every day, he goes out to check them if they're growing, right? But he doesn't dig them up every day, right? Likewise, success comes when we commit to the process, even when results aren't immediately visible. So that farmer might get a little disappointed if he kept doing that. So most farmers don't do that. They plant them and wait for their harvest to be reaped when it's ready. Likewise, success comes when we commit to the process, even when results aren't immediately visible. Everything comes in divine time. So keep showing up, keep working hard, and trust that your diligence will bear fruit in good time. All right, number three, avoiding laziness. Laziness. This is important. Laziness is the silent killer of dreams. Sirach 22:1-2 warns us, and I quote, "The lazy man is like a filthy stone, and everyone hisses at his disgrace." Close quote. Ouch. That's a strong statement, I know, but it rings true with probably a lot of people. When we become inconsistent, unmotivated, and complacent, we not only stun our growth, but also damage our reputation and opportunities. Have you ever put off a task only to realize later that avoiding it made things worse? Procrastination creates stress, missed chances, and stagnation. The key, ladies and gentlemen, to avoiding laziness is self discipline, setting small daily goals or promises, creating routines, and reminding ourselves why we started on the process in the first place. Success is never about big leaps, it's about steady steps. So rise up, take action, and push past laziness to create a life that you always have desired. Number four, building strong character. Consistency isn't just about success, right? It's about integrity and character. So Sirach 27:3 tells us, and I quote, "Unless a person holds fast to integrity, he will be overthrown." Close quote. In other words, what we're saying is your character is only as strong as your ability to stay committed to your values. Imagine a leader who constantly changes their principles based on what's convenient at the moment. They lose credibility and, of course, trust. True character is built through consistent actions, even when no one is watching. If you promise yourself to work hard, be kind, or stay disciplined, you must follow through, not just when it's easy or convenient, but when it's tough and challenging, because that's where the growth happens. That's where the learning takes place. People admire and respect those who stay true to their word. So ask yourself this question, ladies and gentlemen. Are my daily actions in alignment with the person I want to become? If not, it's never too late to change and adjust and strengthen your foundation. By doing so, we'll reprogram your mind and body to start taking those correct actions and getting you set up for success. Number five, endurance in trials. Growth isn't just about effort, ladies and gentlemen. It's about staying strong through challenges. Sirach 21:5 reminds us, quote, "My son, if you come to serve the Lord, prepare yourself for trials. Be steadfast and do not be hasty in times of trouble." Close quote. Life will test your commitment, whether through setbacks, failures, or obstacles. But here is the real secret, everyone. You ready? Those who endure grow the most. Let me say that again. Those who endure grow the most. Those who endure grow the most. So think of diamonds, okay? They're formed under extreme pressure. The same applies to us. Instead of seeing struggles as signs to quit, view them as the refining process of making yourself a true gem, a diamond. Push through, stay patient, and trust that these trials are shaping you into something greater, just like that diamond, right? Every champion, every leader, and every success story has one thing in common. Do you know what that is? They never gave up when things got hard. Are you going to give up? I've said this once before, that tough times never last. Tough people always will. Tough times never last. Tough people always will. Tough times never last. Tough people always will. Number six, ladies and gentlemen, surrounding yourself with the right people. Your environment shapes your growth. Sirach 6:34-36 advises, quote, "Stand in the company of elders who is wise, cling to him." Okay, be willing to listen to every godly discourse, close quote. If you want to stay consistent, motivated, and of course inspired, you must choose your circle of the people you hang out with wisely. Surround yourself with people who uplift, challenge, and encourage you to grow. Are your friends pushing you forward, or are they holding you back? Are you spending time with people who share your values and vision? If not, it might be time to change. The right mentors, communities, and friends can make a huge difference in your personal growth journey. Seek wisdom, stay around those who inspire you, and never stop learning from the best. Now, I know a lot of this sounds like really hard stuff, okay? The truth of the matter is, ladies and gentlemen, it's not that hard. What it does take is the dedication to build the process. And I know creatures of habit, we always want things quickly. So what is let's say the difference, ladies and gentlemen, between instant gratification and long-term or delayed gratification? Well, that's probably a tough one. Instant gratification is the desire to experience pleasure or fulfillment immediately without a delay. It often involves making impulsive choices that bring short term satisfaction, such as indulging in junk food, scrolling through social media, or making unnecessary purchases. And yes, even taking place in some adult acts that might not be appropriate because the feelings are not there. Just looking for that short term feeling. While these actions provide quick enjoyment, they can sometimes lead to negative long term consequences and leave us feeling empty, like poor health, waste of time, or financial instability. Instant gratification can be tempting because it activates the brain's reward system, providing an immediate sense of pleasure and accomplishment. However, it often comes at the expense of true benefits. So, because we feel that sense, okay, whether that be a thrill from a ride or whatever it is, and we get that short term, um, it's over. And yes, our brain likes it, but then we realize that that's not living a great life. Long term gratification, or what I like to say is delayed gratification, on the other hand, requires patience, self discipline, and a focus of the life of future rewards. It involves making sacrifices in the present to achieve greater success. All right. And happiness or fulfillment later on. So, examples include saving money instead of spending impulsively, maintaining a healthy diet for long term well being, or consistently studying to achieve academic and career success. While delayed gratification efforts and perseverance seem very daunting and challenging, it often will lead to more meaningful and lasting rewards, helping individuals build resilience, self control, and a greater sense of accomplishment. I'll give you an example with eating. Now, you might eat that piece of chocolate cake, right? And so you don't need to have a whole plate of chocolate cake. You can just have a small piece. But that big piece feels so great, right? It's amazing. But you can enjoy a little piece. So you have that big piece, and then your stomach's like, oh my gosh, I'm so bloated. Like, oh, why did I do that? And you felt good for the moment, but then everything else just seems to like go downhill after all, right? But if you would have delayed gratification, you could enjoy a little piece, and then you start to realize that you're getting health benefits and you're also starting to lose weight. So that's important. So, what are some examples of, let's talk about instant gratification? So, some examples of instant gratification are things like eating junk food instead of a healthy meal, choosing chips, candy, or fast food for immediate pleasure rather than preparing a nutritious meal that benefits long-term health, such as having a snack that's packed with a fiber or other nutritions like natural sugars from fruit. Binge watching instead of being productive. Watching hours of TV or streaming shows instead of completing work, studying, or exercising. Now, there's nothing wrong with watching some TV, but you want to be mindful about it. Everything in moderation, right? Nothing wrong with a slice of cake, but you want it in moderation. I know when I go to restaurants and they have a huge amount, a lot of times I'll cut it like, I'll take that in half, or I'll go to a diner that has a huge cake. I might have them, I'll say, could you cut that in thirds and give me one third here, and I'll take the other two thirds home, and I'll have myself a snack over the next couple of days. Impulse shopping, buying things on a whim for momentary happiness rather than saving money for important future goals. The things you see at the register, you have to have, but you really don't. Those kinds of things, because usually they're designed for that impulse trigger, but really there's something you're probably going to put in the closet and never use again after the first one or two times. Scrolling through social media instead of focusing on tasks, constantly checking notifications, liking posts, or mindlessly scrolling instead of working, studying, or engaging in real life activities. Now, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of this, but don't let it replace your entire life. All right. Skipping workouts because you're just not comfortable today. Choosing to relax on the couch instead of exercising, prioritizing short term ease over long term fitness and health benefits. This is a real big one. Procrastination on important tasks, putting off work assignments or responsibilities to enjoy entertainment or relaxation, leading to a stress later. Gaming for hours instead of developing skills, playing video games excessively for immediate enjoyment rather than dedicating time to learn new skills or working toward goals. Seeking quick praise instead of true achievement, posting on social media just for likes and validation instead of working on personal and professional growth that leads to lasting fulfillment. If you notice, the content I put out there isn't just out there for one day. The content I put out there builds and helps you to develop greater character and helps you become a better version of yourself. It's not something I just do as a whim one day. It's a passion I have. Number 8, seeking quick praise instead of true achievement. I think the biggest choice of this is that when we do something for a quick feeling, but we really don't have our heart on board, that's a big problem. And I know you're probably saying, well, John, I never do that. Well, I understand, and you don't have to admit to me that you do that. I'm just telling you that it's important. Like rushing into a relationship for companionship when jumping into a relationship quickly to avoid loneliness rather than taking the time to build a deep, meaningful connection. Seeking constant validation, relying on frequent compliments, texts, or reassurances instead of developing self confidence from within your body to form a secure emotional foundation. Avoiding difficult conversations, choosing to ignore issues or sweep conflicts under the rug for temporary peace of mind instead of addressing the real problems at hand and strengthen the relationship. Prioritizing physical attraction over emotional compatibility, focusing solely on physical chemistry rather than investing time in understanding the values, the goals, one's promises, one's passions, and emotional connection. Flirting or cheating just for excitement, seeking quick thrills out of the relationship instead of working through challenges and deepening the commitment that can be there. Love bombing, instead of genuine effort, showering someone with affection, gifts, or excessive attention early on, but failing to sustain true emotional investment. Ghosting instead of communication, disappearing or cutting ties abruptly rather than having mature conversations about feelings or expectations. People do this because they're like, oh, I want to do this. And then they're like, oh, wait a minute, I can't do this. So then they kind of back out, but then they just leave the other person hanging. I think that's really, really wrong. Expecting instant emotional intimacy, wanting a deep bond right away without putting in the time, the effort, and vulnerability needed to build trust. I think that is very important. So, what are some examples of delayed? I like to call it delayed gratification. We named a couple, but I'll name some more. So, delayed gratification, taking time to build trust instead of rushing into the relationship, taking the time to build the trust and establish emotional intimacy over time, which strengthens the connection in the long run. Working through the conflicts, choosing to work through the disagreements, communicate openly, and resolve conflicts rather than avoid difficult situations or walk away from the relations because it just seems like it's easier. Investing in self improvement, focusing on personal growth like you are right now, like improving communication skills or emotional intelligence to bring more to relationship in the future. That is very important. Um, Being patient for commitment. Waiting for a stable and meaningful commitment is key instead of rushing into a relationship or making an impulsive decision because that's what your friend has done or that's what you saw on TV in some bad example that was portraying that to you. Putting relationships first over quick pleasures. So choosing long-term relationship goals like building a future together over the short-term satisfactions or distractions from flirting and validation and the other types of thrills that a relationship might give you that can oftentimes be empty if they're not used appropriately. Um, Focusing on the emotional compatibility, taking the time to understand, appreciate each other's values, their goals, their emotional needs, rather than jumping to conclusions based on just some initial chemistry. So the chemistry is great to get the relationship going, but the chemistry doesn't just keep it. You have to build something solid. All right, respecting boundaries. Respecting personal space and emotional boundaries rather than seeking immediate intimacy, well, allowing the relationship to develop naturally. Prioritizing quality time, investing time in shared experiences and deeper connections. So, delayed gratification relationships focuses on cultivating emotional depth, trust, and stability, which contribute to a long-lasting, fulfilling relationships. And I think this is really important to understand today because I think a lot of people, although they want to do the right thing, unfortunately, they're not thinking with their heart. They're only thinking with their mind. And our mind does things for just sometimes the quick moment. We don't look at all the facts, right? So when we make a decision, do we make it just because of the facts or are we making it on emotions? And one thing I've learned in business is it's great to have emotions, but you don't want to have your emotions in the decision making process. It can really muddy the waters and it can make things so darn difficult. And then you're like, oh, why did I do that? Oh, because I was going out with that person, or because my brother was going out with that person, or my sister's and I wanted to keep them happy. Well, that's no way to run a business. And your emotions are great and they belong in relationships, but they don't belong in financial decisions. Okay. They do not belong in decisions of your career. I know so many people that have decided that they want to go into a career, but because their boyfriend or girlfriend is now at another college, well, they're now transferring from the college that is the top in the country for that major, and they leave it because they just want to be with that boyfriend or girlfriend. And then you know what happens after they do that? They get too much of that person and they become too strong for them, one or the other. And then they break up within the year or two. And now they're so annoyed, and either they transfer back or they don't actually get the major they want or get, let's say, the highest quality of degree they should have gotten because they're so into the other person that they're not into themselves. You have to make sure you put yourself first. Now, that doesn't mean to be rude to others. It means you have to do what's best for you first. I'm going to give you an example. So you guys know that I'm in college and you know that I'm studying for my master's and then my PhD. Well, I'm involved right now in a play. So again, I was hearing some feedback from somebody, and again, they're all wonderful people, but sometimes they get a little bit, how can I say, possessive, and a little bit that they got to let you know that they're more vested than me, which is fine. I don't care. But I was making a comment the other day that when the time is X and they ask a call time for 7 o'clock, and I get here always, let's say they say 7 o'clock, and I know the director always tells me to be there at 7:15. I'm there before 7:15. And then she came out and said, well, you're not. And I wasn't even going to argue it, right? There's no point. Some people just got to feel right. So what are we really saying today? Well, we're saying a lot from the Book of Sirach. I hope you guys love the Book of Sirach. It's amazing. So I think when we think about instant gratification, it refers to the desire to experience pleasure, fulfill a need immediately without any delay. This desire can often lead to impulsive decisions that prioritize that short term enjoyment over the long term benefits. In a relationship, instant gratification can manifest in various ways, such as jumping into a romantic relationship without taking the time to get to know each other or acting on desires without considering the deeper emotional or relational implications and the consequences. For instance, texting someone incessantly to gain immediate attention or seeking quick validation through superficial gestures can give a sense of satisfaction in the moment. However, these behaviors often lack emotional depth and can cause misunderstandings or prevent the relationship from evolving into something deeper. Additionally, the focus on immediate rewards may lead to neglecting important aspects of the relationship, such as open communication, trust building, or strong term compatibility. On the other hand, delayed gratification involves making decisions that prioritize long term rewards over immediate pleasures, requiring patience, self control, and strategic thinking. In relationships, this means taking the time to nurture emotional intimacy, understanding, and the mutual respect that goes with it. For example, rather than rushing into major commitments or acting on impulses, people practicing delayed gratification invest time and effort into getting to know their partners deeply. They focus on building a solid foundation through meaningful conversations, in conflict resolution, and supporting each other's growth. Delayed gratification relationships can involve waiting until both individuals feel ready to take the next step. Whether it's moving in together, getting engaged, or making other significant life decisions, by allowing time for emotional growth and maturity, delayed gratification fosters a stronger sense of trust, connection, and mutual understanding, ultimately leading to a more resilient and lasting bond. So, in the context, ladies and gentlemen, of relationships, and I mean platonic and non platonic, choosing delayed gratification over instant gratification can lead to deeper emotional connections and greater stability. One example of that and the long term satisfaction is the fact that, maybe you want to go to the ball game and this person has, let's say, they have like seats in a suite and you know that if you pal up with them, they're probably going to invite you. But you don't want to rush that, right? You want them to suggest it. You don't want to say, "Hey, well, now that we're friends, can you invite me to a game?" That's wrong. It's really wrong, and that shows that you really don't care about the person at all. So we want to make sure we build that emotional connection for greater stability and long-term satisfaction, whether it's platonic or non-platonic. While the immediate pleasure of instant gratification might feel good temporarily, it often lacks the depth needed to sustain a fulfilling relationship over time. In contrast, delayed gratification encourages partners to be patient, invest in each other's well being, and prioritize the development of emotional intimacy and understanding. In business, emotional intimacy is just the fact of trusting to do business with someone, right? We do business with people we know, like, and trust. This can result in a stronger or more meaningful partnership that is based on trust, respect, and a shared commitment to growing together. By focusing on long-term rewards and practicing patience, individuals can build relationships that are grounded in emotional compatibility and mutual care, ultimately creating a deeper sense of fulfillment and happiness in the long run. Ladies and gentlemen, I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It's always a privilege, pleasure, and honor. Do check out BelieveMeAchieve.com. I'll catch you guys another show real soon. And remember, don't rush. Delayed gratification is your key.